Hello everyone, I've made this video like 3-4 times today, so it better work. I'm now recording from my phone. I was recording from my computer before. But it's rainy and it's spring, so it's allergy season, so if you see me act up on my nose, it's allergy. But right now I'm going back to a review of an old product, the Shamshir. Before I did an introduction video, now I'm doing a 3-year sum up review of how it survived. So the scabbard, it survived reasonably well. We take the sword out. There's some felt that kind of flaps out, but that's fine. Scabbard completely fine. Made some customization. Next, the sword. Originally, it came with this hole, and I adapted. And I put a tassel on it. Hooray! And then, what is it? The steel is stainless steel, but you know, if I put it to its extreme, it would take like, let's see how much of that bend is. I would say like 20% of the bend that you put into it, which is really nice because, you know, if you want to bend it back, it's perfectly fine. I like swords that bend back. That's why I don't really like the dual tempo blades, because you know, if you bend it, it stays to exactly kind of 100% of where you put the bend, more or less. Well, there's of course variations in that, but I like it when, you know, it bends only just a tiny bit and you could just bend it back, because if it's complete mono steel, it's really good because you don't even have to bend it back. But if it fails the mono steel, you'll have to deal with a warp that is really hard to get out of the blade. Let's see if I can put this back. But yeah, as a secondary bevel, you might not like that. You might like that because there's a nice design right here. We got a beautiful mirror polish on this stainless steel blade. But the one thing about it is, it's not really sharp. It could leave a mark, maybe. But it feels sharp if you know, rub your finger like this. But if you're gonna like, woohoo, you could play with that all out of the day, and it'll be fine unless someone hews it at you. You know, hewing cut, chopping cut. So yeah, it's not that sharp because it actually came pretty sharp, but you see I'm pretty sure it's just design, because you see right here, we got no slit. It's nice even sheath, which looks nice on the wall, but if you pull it out every like 20 seconds to practice your iaido with the Shamshir, you're gonna get this having friction with the sheath, you know, the inside of the sheath. Next, the handle, you know, this whole thing is sheet metal, so, you know, the paints on here would probably, you know, have some wear. You could kind of see that. This is a nice camo. And you know, this is molecular, well, this is like stainless, so they put a sap in here. The sap is very brittle, and the sap that I had was red, but then I'm like, you know, the blade was starting to come out, so then I tried to fix it with steel stick. I even fixed the caulk out so it's much more durable, but a chain, and so it looks like a Polish saber. I even put some in the handle because the handle cracked open. This, you know, is really brittle, you know, just stainless steel. And the inside of the handle, right here in this head, the lion's head, they had sand. So if you want some Dagestani sand, it could come out. But that's if you put it to the real test, which if that's like your only sword and you want to like use it and practice with it, then that might be a problem. But if it's gonna be on the wall, looking nice, then maybe you wanna use it if the Oabo comes, but you never actually practice with swords, and it's just gonna sit there for most of its life, never coming out of the scabbard unless you like really want to show it off, like once every year or something. Then fine, this is pretty good. But for the practitioner of Rasmus Far, Hema, those kinds of things, I would recommend a more durable option because you're probably going to use that a lot of the time, cutting water bottles or trees, to your heart's content. But yeah, this is a low use sword because if you pull it out of your scabbard too many times, it will burn a bit. Like, of course, you won't be able to do draw cuts, but you could be able to do some chopping. Of course, you like, especially with light water bottles. But it's overall, like, though it has some presence in the blade, the whole thing is super, super light. So you're not gonna be able to do some of the amazing feats. This is a very light sword, almost too light. And if you have guests, we got these sheath scabbard langets. They could smash through here and into the handle, or they could smash the other way, but they bend because of sheet metal, and occasionally that's what happens when you give your friends a sword, and they were gonna, oh, let's put it back in the scabbard, and they're gonna put it back even wet, which that's not a good idea because then you're gonna ruin the inside of your scabbard. So yeah, is it a good sword? On the wall, low use, amazing. For standard heavy use, not good. So that is my review after 3 years.